Scope is breaking.
6-3. 6-2. 6-1.
Scope is clear.
6-0.
Prepare to surface, aye, sir. Diving officer, prepare to surface.
Prepare to surface, aye. Shooting watch on the 1 and C, prepare to surface. Prepare to surface.
Shooting watch, test the head valve.
Test the head valve, aye. Head valve indicates shut. Head valve indicates open. Officer deck, head valve's tested, test satisfactory, sir. Shooting watch on the 1 and C, surface, surface, surface. Surface, surface, surface.
I'm Chief Welsh from the USS Baton Rouge. Just want to say hi to Mama and Merry Christmas also to my sweetheart and all my boys.
Even in this Navy town, you don't usually see submarines. These low-slung black ships, some might even call them sinister. It's the silent service, at least in part, because submariners don't talk much about what they do or where they go. When photographer Art Kahn and I set off for our Christmas visit to a sub in the Med, we wound up pretty far off the beaten path. A small island called La Maddalena off the northern tip of Sardinia, an Italian island itself. There, after 4 airline flights, a car ride, and a ferry boat trip, we boarded a Navy boat for the last leg. A short ride to one more island, Santo Stefano, a NATO base run by Italian Marines. Tied up here is the 46-year-old subtender, the USS Orion, and nestled alongside the long, sleek, flat black hull of the USS Baton Rouge. For the past 3 weeks, she'd been in an upkeep and repair period. Now, as she prepared to get underway, divers were inspecting the hull. If you've never been aboard a sub, you're struck immediately by just how small they are, how tough it is to get in. Here's the front door. Inside, a labyrinth of narrow passages. Ship's office is the size of a closet. So is sickbay. Wardroom is for eating and conferences. Take off the tablecloth and it becomes an emergency operating room. A space the size of a bathroom is home for 3 officers. What's it like to live and work in such a tight space with 140 shipmates? Dennis Labach admits he had some trouble.
I was claustrophobic at first when I slept inside these bunks. I was scared at first, but you get used to it.
Space is at an absolute premium. Everything he has with him is stored in a tiny space under his bunk. Above, room only for a few reminders of home.
I've got a picture of my mother and father. I had a picture of my brother and sister, but I took it down and put it in my wallet. I also have a picture of Jesus.
These subs can stay down literally almost forever with nuclear power. They make their own air with machines like these. Other machines make the water. There is really only one limiting factor, and surprisingly, that's the amount of food that can be carried. On a submarine, it is stuffed and stored everywhere. In fact, you even walk on it. This is powdered milk.
A lot of stuff, aye.
As the sub prepares for sea, it stocks up on food. There is storage, but in order to carry more, provisions are stuffed in every nook and cranny. Ask the cooks and they'll tell you running short of some supplies is their biggest problem. But there are others. As we'll see later, the sub is capable of some steep dives. Imagine trying to cook hamburgers with the deck constantly tilting.
That's why we try to stay rigged for sea at all times. Because if you don't, and we take a large up angle or down angle, then stuff will go flying.
It's a life that isn't for everyone. Roger Lytle's buddies back in Richmond had some trouble understanding.
Well, some guys think I'm crazy. You know, I come down here on the ship that just sinks. It's something you get used to. It's like being in a Cadillac, you know, just a smooth ride all the time.
The close quarters and the knowledge that everyone's life depends on everyone else makes for a close crew. You often hear the words team and family.
We're a very tight crew, and I enjoy working with them. We have our moments everybody does. So you just tend to take that in stride and then go on to the next day.
Cast off all lines!
At 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning, the Baton Rouge returned to sea.
Ludwig, move the Jacob's ladder up there.
A busy time for one of the most visible people on board, Dennis Wright, the chief of the boat.
Stay back here. I'm going to keep the other diver up forward, all right?
His is one of the most time-honored jobs in submarines. Counselor, disciplinarian, teacher. It's a job that's never finished.
If a guy's in the Navy for 20 years on submarines, he's continually qualifying. There's never an end to it. I've been in the Navy 16 years, and I'm still there.
Underway on the surface, the Baton Rouge is an awesome sight. 6,200 tons pushing an enormous amount of water out of the way, leaving behind a huge wake. But submarines don't like the surface. They live and work far better beneath it.
Hatch secured, ship's rigged for dive.
We aren't allowed to shoot here underway, so this and other control room sequences are reenactments, but they're virtually identical to the real thing.
Sounding 100 fathoms, sir.
Farewell, quartermaster. Captain, the sounding is 100 fathoms. Request permission to submerge the ship. Submerge the ship. Submerge the ship, aye, sir.
2 blasted dive alarm, dive, dive, open main ballast tank vents.
2 blasted diving alarm, dive, dive, open main ballast tank vents, aye. Dive, dive. Dive, dive. Dive, maneuver here. All vents open.
All deck up, vents indicate open.
Farewell, diving officer.
3-6 feet.
Decks are awash.
This is not a reenactment. A couple of 100 feet below the Med, the Baton Rouge begins a series of steep dives and climbs. Watch the juice machines. It's time for angles and dangles.
You're gonna have to land.
Hold him up. North center starboard.
In the torpedo room, the crew had also prepared for the return to sea, checking the torpedoes and harpoon and tomahawk missiles, and firing a practice shot called a water slug.
Firing point procedures, local fire, tube 1.
Firing point procedures, local fire, tube 1, huh?
Stand by.
Standing by.
Fire.
Fire.
If there's one other impression of the boat, it's the youthfulness and responsibility of the crew. Seaman James Paul, for example.
I basically have control of steering the boat, and I thought about it a lot. And some of the things you'd say, trying to go get a license or something, like driving experience. Well, I've driven a sub.
They're some of America's most talented young people, we think, and they have excellent technical background when they first come to the submarine force.
Jack Davis has spent most of his adult life, 19 years, preparing for this command. It's a grueling job, but you won't hear him complain.
And it's very hard to describe exactly what exhilaration you have when you're the commanding officer, but to have a fine warship and a fine group of men to lead is just a very exciting idea in my mind.
Hi, I'm ET1 Loggins from the USS Orion, La Maddalena, Italy. I'd like to say Merry Christmas to my wife, Linda, to my kids, Jason and Linnea, to my friend Rudy and Lynn, to the Dempseys. Wish you all a Merry Christmas. Wish I could be there. Hope you have a good time.
As you can probably tell, this is beautiful country and a tourist spot, too. The city of La Maddalena down there swells from 12,000 to more than 60,000 during the summer months. But still, this isn't the United States with slightly different, pretty scenery. This is Sardinia, and it's a long way from home, both in miles and in lifestyle. Most of the 2,000 Americans are connected with the subtender Orion, based permanently here in the Med. This floating machine shop keeps the subs in business. You break it, they can fix it. Need a new widget? They'll make you one. Ashore at the Navy Support Office, real burgers, fries, and even tacos.
When Quincy Jones puts out a new album, people listen.
And the Today Show, satellite live from the States.
Thank you.
living here can be a challenge. We went grocery shopping with a group of wives from Norfolk on a landing craft. You see, we're on La Maddalena. The commissary is on Santo Stefano. Dolores and Brian Cornoni are recent arrivals, quickly learning about regular water shortages, power outages, and housing.
We have no heat, and we have tile floors, so when you get up in the morning, you are awake.
The commissary is another experience. We'd consider it small for a convenience store. It's a big deal when fresh milk is available. There are bigger deals.
The big news from woman to woman was, is there any toilet paper at the commissary? And it was a big, it was kind of a fun thing, but it was really not funny if you didn't have any.
Christine Morgan needed canned pumpkin for her Thanksgiving pies.
40 cases were sent from Rota, Spain to Naples to then be delivered here, but the veterinarian had to check it first. And when he checked it, he found that it was not fit for human consumption. So.
What did she do?
Well, my mother sent me 5 cans from the States.
You can't buy lettuce and cucumbers and tomatoes the same time as you buy everything else. You have to go on a separate shopping trip for that.
That trip will usually take you to market. Quite an experience. How's your Italian? But the wives learned that living on the local economy is not all that bad.
The Italians are, by and large, very warm and wonderful. Once you get to know them, they're just, they take you on like family.
For the trip home from the commissary, the grocery bags are stacked outside. More than once during rough weather, they've wound up in the Mediterranean. It's a lot to go through just to go shopping, but Linda Middleton says this life does have its advantages, too.
In the States, we lose track of our neighbors. Here, you more or less know everybody and you watch out and for everybody because they'll watch out for you. And that's what the American spirit is.
Apparently, it's also in the Italian spirit. Every evening, the entire island seems to take a walk, say hi to friends and neighbors. It's called the passeggiata. What better time, what better place to get in a little Christmas shopping?
Questa giacchetta qui, quant'è?
Questa è my parents are from Italy.
Is that right?
They were born in Italy. They came over when they were about 18 on the boat, say. And they met in the States, got married there.
Where are you going to put it? I mean, most of us only have a rack. I'm a little bit more fortunate than some people, but if all my supplies are in it, my lockers are full too.
I'm buying this for my mother-in-law.
Really?
My father-in-law.
Did you get a lot of orders when you came over here? Lots of things to bring back?
Oh, yeah. Mostly just little odds and ends.
Oh, pewter.
Come chiamate?
Pewter.
Pewter si chiama, sì.
I'm Jeff Wilson from the Baton Rouge. I'd like to say Merry Christmas to my wife and to my parents if they can watch this. I'd like to tell my wife that this is what the crow that I got advanced to on this underway looks like.
This is bulk sausage.
Before sailing, the Baton Rouge loaded up with turkeys, hams, and all the fixins for a feast. In port, at sea, or under it, Christmas would be celebrated in style.
And we'll have the mess cooks dress up in a jacket, and we'll have little candles on the table. And we try to make as extravagant an affair out of it. Certainly we can't make it like home, but we try to do the best job we can.
That holds for most of the guys out here, missing home and doing their best. Family separations are part of Navy life, but they're not easy. 10-month-old Brittany Ann took her first steps this fall, but Michael Meager won't see her walk until the sub comes home.
Smile for Papa. Smile for Papa.
Bobby Walsh came into this world during the cruise. His mom, Chona, took a cab to the hospital. Bob Walsh has yet to see him.
I've seen some photographs, but I really want to get home and see him.
You stay back here. I'm going to keep the other diver up forward, all right?
Earlier this year, Chief of the boat Dennis Wright broke his arm. During the cruise, his son, Sean, broke his.
You really don't realize when you don't have the use of both arms what things you can't do, like opening up the mayonnaise or whatever. He was my little helper. And so I was just, kind of upset that I couldn't be home with him to help him out.
Separations are something all families talk about, but never quite get used to.
Well, it's our job. When we go away, my wife knows it, I know it, it happens. And it's something we both joined into when I joined the Navy, and have agreed to since I've been staying in, that we're going to have family separations.
It is. It's never easy to be separated from a loved one, and especially during the holiday time. It's part of you is missing. You can't enjoy yourself like you normally would be able to.
My father was in the service for 20 years, and there was a lot that I missed with him when I was growing up. And I know that my son's missing the same thing that I missed. And so, yeah, I feel guilty to a certain degree, and I hope that he understands the way I understood.
Well, I try not to lay the guilt on him too much because he does feel bad, but there's nothing he can do about it. And so I try to play the supportive wife role and make it easier for him, because it is hard on him too. I know that.
Well, I haven't counted. This is about the third long cruise we've been through, but there are smaller cruises on and off. My husband's been in the Navy 19 years.
I've been away for a few Christmases, but I don't. It doesn't get any easier. I don't find it any easier. By the same token, I take some solace in the fact that we're doing an important job. It's one that needs to be done. I think my family understands that, and I think that understanding and the fact that it is an important job makes it easier.
I know you'd rather be with your family during this special time of year, but since you have to go away, I hope your days and nights are still filled with cheer.
Helping bridge the miles to home this year, letters to the guys overseas at Christmas from English classes at Bayside Junior High School. We delivered hundreds of them to the Baton Rouge and other Sixth Fleet ships. Back home here at the Little Creek Amphibious Base, it's one of those picture-perfect Saturday afternoons in November you have to be very lucky to get. Must be about 70 degrees out here. But through those doors, it's already Christmas. A Christmas party for Baton Rouge families. They're signing a huge banner, a Christmas greeting to the sub. But the main order of business today is a videotape familygram to the guys so far from home.
Rolling?
Merry Christmas. As you can see, we're all nervous, and all the wives made me do this first, so
We miss you, Butch. We love you. Everything's staying together, believe it or not. The kids are fine. The cars are running.
Nose like a cherry, his droll little mouth is drawn up like a bow, and his clean-shaven face was Navy rig, you know.
See that my son hasn't changed. He's still pretty shy. When it gets to my daughter, she's always seems to be very active.
I'm going to go ahead and put this to Chris because we're running out of time. So, hello.
As you can see, we're all nervous.
holidays, a time of lights on a Christmas tree, a time of burning candles on a menorah, time to be spending with family, and even if I can't be with you, you'll be in my heart the whole Christmas through. Happy holidays, Dad.
Hi, I'm Paul Huber from the USS Baton Rouge. I'd like to say happy holidays and thank you for the support to my family and to everybody else out there who's been warm enough to send their support.
With all that's happened in the past few months, this could be one of the best Christmases ever on this planet. The Berlin Wall is coming down, East-West relations are warming. We may just have taken a step toward that long, elusive goal of peace on Earth. Someday, boats like this may not be necessary. Someday. But for now, the Baton Rouge and her crew are paying the price for the lifestyle we enjoy. Late on December 9th, the Baton Rouge pulled in just close enough to the NATO base at Santo Stefano to transfer Art and me to a waiting tug. Our days as submariners were over. But by the time our feet touched dry land, the boat was again in her world, somewhere out there, spending a holiday far from home, this Christmas under the Med.
This is Lieutenant Commander Butch Hansen on USS Baton Rouge, somewhere under the Mediterranean. I'd like to say Merry Christmas to my family and all my friends in the Norfolk area. Merry Christmas.
Hello, I'm Charles Allen from USS Baton Rouge. This is to all my wife and my 2 kids back in Newport News, Virginia. Merry Christmas, honey, and kids. And my neighbors. Hey, Larry, stay out of trouble.
Hi, I'm Petty Officer Dorco from the USS Baton Rouge, wishing Hampton Roads and WAVY TV10 a safe and happy holiday season.
Hello from La Molina. This is Captain Christine Morgan. We'd like to have the opportunity to say hello and Merry Christmas to all our friends and family back in Norfolk, and to thank you for giving us this opportunity, as well as my crew, to say hello to all people back in Norfolk.
A special Merry Christmas to Sean at ODU.
Hi, my name is Randy Dishoff, USS Baton Rouge. I'd like to say hi to Mary and Paul, Pat, and of course my good friend Kelly Joe. Merry Christmas. We'll see you soon.
Hi, I'm Pepsi Matthews from USS Baton Rouge. Hi, Lori, Mom, and Leslie.
Hi, I'm Petty Officer Trumbull from USS Baton Rouge, wishing you a Merry Christmas from La Maddalena, Italy.
Hi, I'm Commander Jack Davis, Commanding Officer of the USS Baton Rouge. On behalf of the officers and crew of the USS Baton Rouge, I'd like to wish everyone in Norfolk a happy holiday season.